And hello, everyone. You see, this is how you start yours usually. Welcome to this special episode of Catching Up with the Nerds, which is how do we do it? Crossover episode X. Catching Up with the Nerd X, Grit and Grime. We thought we'd mix it up tonight, you know what I'm saying? And we'll do something a little bit different.
Yeah.
So this is me, Tom, from Catching Up with the Nerds, and as you may have noticed, there's two different guys with me today. One you know, one you may not know, depending on, that guy. So the guy to my right. There you go.
See?
That's
Not as
Dave.
easy as it looks. Not as easy as it looks.
Damn, I don't have any more. Can't say anything anymore. You may know Dave from every single review episodes we've done of Marvel-related content, but also the creator, the boss of GritNGrime Basketball Podcast.
Hey.
Ooh. And then the guy who's below us,
what?
Hey,
I thought we were all equals.
We're all equal. We're all equals, but right now on YouTube, you're below us. If you're listening, he's equal. If you're watching, he's right there. It's Jose.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you for having me in this crossover.
So Jose is 1/4 of the GritNGrime Basketball Podcast. 25%.
I guess that's right. Yeah.
See, equals.
Yeah.
And if you're one of our fans, welcome to another GritNGrime Basketball Podcast. We will be talking basketball content with a little twist.
Yeah.
Nerd twist.
Slightly different. We'll talk what are we talking about, Dave? We're talking about basketball, but nerdy basketball.
We're playing basketball.
That sounds fun.
No,
one of
that's
the greatest basketball songs ever.
Yeah.
Curtis Blow.
Curtis Blow.
Right?
We're talking about Space Jam.
And a remake from Lil Bow Wow. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, look, dropping the musical knowledge.
Hey.
That's what he's here for.
We're talking Space Jam. Not Space Jam 1, not the first one. Talking Space Jam 2.
A new legacy.
Featuring LeBron James. Like as we said, it's obviously a movie. That's what we do sometimes in Catching Up with the Nerds. We talk movies. We haven't in a while though. I don't think we've
been a minute.
Talked about a minute. So we'll talk about the movie real briefly and go through it, and we'll spoil. The movie came out a good month ago now, over a month ago. So I think that's fair enough. I think Are we allowed to spoil?
If you don't want any spoilers, come back later.
Yeah, just go watch the movie. Like, if you don't want any spoilers, go watch the movie. Like, you should have watched it already.
Yeah. And if we're spoiling it for you, then you've been warned. So this is how we're going to do this. We are going through a quick recap of the movie, and when I say quick, it's going to be super quick. And then we'll get into our review of the film, what we thought, what was good, what was not so good. Well, I guess we'll talk about that. And then we'll go into the basketball portion of it, which is the actual game recap, which should be fun. That's going to be a weird one. Usually we do go on GritNGrime deeper into stats and stuff.
I think
we'll make up some stats, but I've got a real score still, so at least we can work with that. And then a little discussion on Monstars versus Goon Squad. Who will win?
Who would win? We already know though.
I don't know, man. We'll see.
We already know. Come on.
Save it for later. Save that fire for later. And then if we have time, if you want to talk about it, we'll talk about MJ or LeBron, but not on the basketball court, more in terms of acting performances. I can't say that word. Anyway, let's jump right into it, right? Quick recap. And the movie opens as a young LeBron is on the court. He's dropped off, like he's playing a youth league game, I think. And his friend gives him a Game Boy, and I was like, yes, talking right to me as a geek. Gives him a Game Boy and it's like, oh, you gotta play some games, man. It's like, nah, man, gotta play basketball. Anyway, game goes on. LeBron's gotta take that last shot. Misses. He chokes. Which is it's not something we see often from LeBron, right?
Not anymore.
That's Dave being a greatest Lakers fan.
Not since he put on that purple and gold, baby.
He never misses.
I don't think he's ever really choked, but yeah. Anyway.
No, he hasn't.
But he didn't. Anyway, that results in him having a little conversation with his coach, and the coach like, oh, you can't waste your time playing video games, and LeBron just chucks it in the bin. And I was like,
Disrespect. I knew you would hate that scene. I was wondering how hard it would hit you in the chest.
I paused it. I was watching it in the cinema, and then I closed my eyes. The real version is actually paused it, and I went, nah, I've got to leave this for tomorrow. So I actually took a break. That was about 3 minutes in the movie.
Yeah, literally.
I went,
It's one of the greatest selling consoles of all time, the OG Game Boy.
The OG Game Boy, right behind the PS2, I believe. Oh no, the Wii might be in there somewhere. Maybe even the PS4. I don't know. I haven't checked those numbers in a long time.
Pokemon.
Consoles, not games.
Yeah, no, I know. But
Pokemon on the Game Boy.
That was my favorite game in that console. Like Pokemon Red, Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Yellow. Oh my god, I played just too much. My thumbs would just go numb.
And you were still able to progress your basketball career.
Yes. Right. So LeBron,
you can do both.
You can do both.
Proof positive.
Yeah.
All right, so we move on. We move on to present days, where LeBron is now an adult, and he's got his two kids. I think Darius and Dominic. I think the name Dom and Darius. I think Darius is supposed to be Bronny. Is that his kid's name? I think they sort of represent.
Yes.
Yeah. Fair. That's fair because he's like older and already playing. Like yeah.
And Dominic, I'm not sure the other kid's name. The actual LeBron's real names. I don't even know what they are. I know Bronny, but the other kids. I'm sorry, Anyway, the other kid, Dom, is more attracted to creating his video game, and he's more into that nerdy world. Much to LeBron's dismay. There's that scene on the court when Darius is making it rain, showing his moves. But then Dom is more interested in making his game and making it good.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I want to be. They have the discussion. It's like, I want to be. This is what I do. And LeBron's like, nah, man, don't have time to mess around. Gotta play basketball like your dad. Just gotta be like me.
And that was lesson number 2 for the parents out there. I'm not there yet. Jose's not there yet, but soon, hopefully, we'll be joining that team. And that was lesson number 2 for a parent. After throwing all the computer games in the bin, lesson number 2 is force your interests on your children.
It's very healthy parents' relationship. That's a great way to raise
all your frustrations. Just put them on your kids.
All your goals that you never achieved. Make sure
it's better for your actual marriage. Like there's no more arguments with your wife or your husband or right or your partner. Just put them all on your kid. You're gonna have a better relationship. You're gonna ruin your kid's life, but it's okay.
Exactly.
He has time to fix it.
You don't pass it laterally, you pass it down. So you're redirecting that nice energy down.
It's the way the poop rolls.
Yeah.
It's an avalanche.
It's an avalanche, exactly, of good stuff. Anyway, during that scene, Dom sits down with LeBron. He shows LeBron the game, and it's like, this is what I've been doing. And the game's amazing. If you know anything about video games, it actually looks really slick.
Yeah.
But then LeBron
reminded me of Space Jam. Remember the old Space?
Yeah.
NBA
Jam.
NBA Jam. Remember the game? The what was it? NES or SNES? SNES. Yeah,
SNES,
so good.
Mega Drive.
Yeah, it reminded me. I was like, oh my god, that looked so cool. I really want to play that. Right? Like, yeah.
So there's an important scene there. You don't know it's important just yet, where LeBron does a move and it actually glitches the game. I can't say that word also. Making it crash and deleting all of the characters. Bow, bow, bow.
It was a jab, step, turn around, fade, but he doesn't get to the fade section.
And so, hint, remember this. It's an important bit of information for the rest of the film. Anyway, LeBron is then called to go into the WB Studios, Warner Bros. Studios in LA for a movie deal. What happens in there? I can't remember.
It gets pitched.
It gets pitched, and then the idea is actually, I thought the idea was amazing. It was cool. But then LeBron goes, nah, not interested. Whilst Dom himself is like, oh my God, amazing place. This is where I want to be. It's awesome sort of thing. And they get to meet the other guy. What's his name? Algae
Rhythm, baby.
Algae Rhythm. Don Cheadle.
It's portrayed by Don Cheadle. Also, what's
one
his
of my
face
favorites.
What's his name in the Marvel?
War Machine.
War Machine. That's it.
I personally,
Brody.
one of my, I would say my favorite Marvel character, and I'm a DC fan, so I really like War Machine.
It's funny. I think I'm going into a Don Cheadle phase because I was watching Ocean 11, 12, and 13, and he's all of those. Shocking British accent though.
Oh my God.
Movies.
That is, don't watch. 11. Do not watch him for the bloody. Oh no. No.
Oh God.
Go and watch him in Black Mondays.
Yes.
And Crash. There's plenty of good stuff to go and watch him in.
that British
Ocean's
accent
11 is not one of them.
But the movie is cool though, but his accent.
Yeah. I'm hoping, and I think that was in there on purpose. Like he's there to do a bad English accent.
Probably.
Never say British accent, by the way. There's 42 accents in Britain. True.
So anyway, scene goes on, and then Dom's interested in the software that Warner is running, which is Warner 3000, I believe. And then he ends up meeting Algae. Is he Algae? Yeah.
Algae.
If you're not Ali G, it's Algae.
Ali G, which is the weird thing. It took me out of the film for a little bit. I was like, is it Ali G? Like Algae sounds really weird. Sounds too similar. So he gets absorbed into the serververse.
The serververse.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have the rights to say internet.
No.
Who owns the rights to the internet though?
Someone probably does.
Probably Bill Gates.
Or his wife.
I
don't know.
Ex-wife.
He injected the rights into all of our arms.
I know, right? 5G that. So Algae Rhythm is now self-aware, and he's got and he's like, I wanna do something. I just got rejected by LeBron. My idea was brilliant. I'm gonna take his kid. I'm gonna turn his kid. I'm gonna do that father and son beef. So grabs the son, brings him into the serververse. Boom. And he's like, okay, well, now we're going to compete. I'm going to take my revenge on LeBron. I'm going to bring LeBron in, and we're going to get a nice, good game of basketball between the serververse people and the the Toon World. That's what it's called. So yeah, LeBron gets absorbed. He gets in there. He meets all of the Looney Tunes characters in there. Actually meets more than that. He actually meets much massive number of DC characters like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman.
All of Warner Bros. Basically.
All of that. It's literally that catalog in front
Harry
of
Potter,
face.
Casablanca,
Harry Potter,
Matrix.
Game of Thrones.
Oh, Matrix. Yeah. Which accent? We'll talk about it in our review of the movie. But like to me, that was, even though it was a massive advert for Warner Bros. I thought that was a cool scene to see LeBron getting into those movies. Anyway, we'll talk about it.
We'll come back to that.
We'll leave that for later. So they go into a spacecraft. They go around and they recruit a bunch of guys that were accidentally almost the same
spread
team.
Out. Yeah,
same team as in Space Jam 1 with Michael Jordan, the real one. And they set out to play the game. I think, did I miss something? To jump right into the game.
That's pretty much it.
You see,
it's like the fate of the world depends on the game, basically.
Maybe.
And the Toons have their own little reason for being all spread out and stuff, but
they have their reasons, but it's not really massively important in the entire thing. We also see what Algae Rhythm, or who he recruits. A bunch of players will Shall we go through them? Yeah, let's go through a list of the.
I think
The
it's
Green
important
Squad.
because it's an imperative part of the
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Same as number one.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you've got Chronos, who is played by Dame Lillard, which I was like, Chronos, game time.
Get it?
Funny.
Get it?
Makes sense, right? If
you've
you like, you know who Chronos is, right? Like, I guess
Game time.
you wouldn't
Time
need to
God.
explain. Like, yeah, it's actually a Titan,
Ah.
father of Zeus and Hades and Poseidon.
Yes.
Mm,
There you go.
Yeah,
Well, DC characters. No, they're not.
the Greek gods.
Greek gods.
Yeah.
Then you got Diana. I don't even know how to say it. It's Taurasi.
Taurasi.
Who's
Funny
the
fact
white
about
member.
Diana, you know, she lived in Argentina for a good 10 years. Her Spanish is Argentinian. She drinks mate, everything. And the last time the FIBA Americas, since we're, this is a crossover, right? So we can talk basketball.
Yeah, of course.
She when US played in Argentina in FIBA Americas last year, she gave a speech and everybody absolutely loved her, man. She lived in Argentina, so she's like a hero for us. I think her father is Argentinian, so yeah, we love her.
Is that
Yes.
an Argentinian name then?
No,
No,
might be. I don't know.
We don't. We'll find out. So she's the white member, which I
Yeah.
thought was cool.
Love it.
Yeah, and that's kind of a callback to a picture that was taken at the 2008 Beijing Olympics where Kobe and Taurasi are in it, and he posted the caption, different animal, same beast. So he's the black mamba, she's the white mamba.
Nice.
There's a lot of basketball knowledge throughout the film. There's a bunch of things. I mean, again, we'll talk about it, but like during the basketball game, there's a lot of moves and poses and things that happen. Who else is on there? Anthony Davis, AD, the brow, of course. He gets mocked
Badly.
By LeBron.
LeBron, yo. So much that you don't see AD the entire game.
Is any wonder why they didn't win the championship, eh?
Yeah.
Beef. Real life beef. Don't talk about the brow like that now. Carried LeBron to a chip.
Disrespected within the first 45 seconds of him showing in the movie. Boom. Put down. Teammate of the brow is Wet Fire. It's my favorite name of all time. Who is played obviously by Klay Thompson. Wet Fire.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense, right? Splash Brother, but he's on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, I get it. I think it could have been a better name. I don't know what that name is, so I'm not gonna tell you. It has to be a different name.
Use your creativity.
But I could, like the Splash Bro, something like that.
Splash Fire.
Yeah.
I don't know. Wet Fire made me laugh. I was like, I could not take that one seriously.
Right.
Although none of it is serious, but hey. And then the last one, oh God, I can't even pronounce nothing. Do you want to take a stab, Dave? Because this is where I was the Aranika. I can't
It's
say.
Arakneka,
Arakneka.
who was played by Nneka Ogwumike.
Yeah.
Street Eyes.
Nigerian. She was on the Nigerian team at the
Olympics. Yeah, she was on the Nigerian. Funny enough, when she showed up, I was like, I know you.
Yeah, she does presenting for ESPN.
Yeah,
quite a fair bit. And she has a sister that's also in the league.
Yes,
they're both very good players.
Arakneka.
Which, like, if you had to put a spider, you had also KD and what's his face, Mitchell.
Yeah, they auditioned, but they didn't make the cut.
Not good enough. Bad actors.
Not good enough players. Yeah, they got dunked on.
They already had too many bad actors.
Let's pick it up where we were in terms of the movie recap. So the game takes place. Now we got the Loon Squad in there. Is it a Loon Squad? Goon Squad. So
Goon Squad.
Goon Squad. The game goes one way. First half. We'll go into the stats in a minute. Goes one way. Goes the other way in the second half. Spoiler alert: LeBron wins the game.
What?
Does it?
Yeah, no, it does. He does. He beats the buzzer on a dunk, one-handed dunk, which I call travel. If you watch it again, I think it was travel on there.
It was a crab dribble.
Zero step.
Eurostep, maybe. There was therefore a foul from LG. So at least there'll be free throws for LeBron if you missed that. But yeah, so LeBron wins the game, obviously meaning that actually we didn't even talk about what was at stake in the game. If they lose the game, then they'll stay there forever and play the same basketball game forever and ever, right? Everybody's
caught in a loop.
Caught in a loop, which pretty much was the same that in Space Jam 1. It was like, you got to play for me till the end of days.
Yeah,
I think sort of same vibe.
I guess the Space Jam 2 had a lot more people involved, like real people involved.
Yeah.
Right? Because Space Jam 1, it was just Mike Jordan, Wayne Knight, and Bill Murray, right?
Bill Murray, exactly.
This Space Jam 2 had LeBron's family and everybody who follows LeBron on Instagram, basically. Right?
Yeah.
Massive arena.
So that was the other thing that they did. They tied it into social media, right?
Yeah.
To modernize it, because LG, a lot of his actual motivation was to be famous, right? Brilliant. He wanted to be famous like LeBron, have a bunch of followers and be known and be a noteworthy person, right? So that's lesson number 3 for parents at home. Turn your kids into Instagram stars, even if it's at the expense of their happiness and your relationship with them.
Practice the duck lips. Okay? Get that.
Did you just do a Zoolander post? Did you just...
Audio listeners, you have just missed the greatest moment in catching up with the nerds.
What's the name of the Zoolander look?
Grit and Grime history. He gave us the blue steel with the lips.
Blue steel.
The blue steel.
Full Daffy Duck.
Bottom left. Oh God. Yeah, I'm glad you're dishing out those parenting advice today, Dave.
If I don't, sound. As a non-parent, who would?
Yeah, I agree.
Fair enough.
I'm waiting for Jose to step up.
I think you should write a book.
How to parent the right way.
Yeah.
The Dave way.
Yeah. Parenting the right way. Anyway, let's go back into this one. I think we spent too much time on that recap. So anyway, they win. Everybody's raptured back to Earth. I thought that was a very anyway. And then you go back into a week later when LeBron says, "Oh, son, I'm taking you to a basketball camp," and son's like, "Yeah, man." And then psych, E3 baby, E3. What's it called?
Expose.
E3, no, what?
Expose. It's an
exhibition, something like developers camp or something like that.
The developers camp. There you go.
Yeah.
So drops the kid there. The kid's like, "Yes, awesome."
But he still takes his basketball with him, though.
Which to a point where both my wife and myself looked at each other because Dom, LeBron's kid, was just right in the middle of the road. And I was like, "There's gonna be a car hitting him if it's an actual Looney Tunes stuff." I was like, me, you know.
Yeah.
That would have been a funny ending. And again,
like Scary Movie 1, remember?
Yeah. Parenting advice: make sure they look both ways when you cross the street.
Both ways.
No.
Or if you don't, just stay in the middle.
Stand in the road and have a conversation with your child. But
If
make
you
sure
have a
you're on the
basketball.
pavement.
And if you have a basketball, you're
on
safe.
the pavement. So there you go. He goes in, and then Bugs Bunny comes back in. He's like, "Hey, can I stay with you? I want to visit LA. I've got all my friends." Cut to black, and then you see the pictures of every single Looney Tune hanging out with the James family, playing golf with Bill Murray, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
The end. Okay, we've done the recap. We've done that.
Oof.
Let's go through the review. What did we think? The good things. What was the positives? Who should start? Dave.
All right. Yeah, I thought they did a good job of modernizing everything, right? They, as we said, integrated social media into things. They had game development in things, and that kind of mirrors the the comparison that we have in real life, which is where there is actually a generation gap, right, from LeBron to his children. So when LeBron came into the league was a bunch of men who enjoyed drinking and all the adult things and vices that that people get into. Whereas now, when players come into the league, they're actually into video games, they're into Fortnite, they're into social media, they're into all of these other things. And weirdly enough, LeBron actually plays a lot of 2K, right? He plays video games because he can simulate things on there and run plays and stuff and play it realistically. But he decided to make that clear distinction just for the sake of the film, which I thought was cool and interesting.
Okay, that's a good one. Jose, anything you?
Yes, all the Easter eggs, crossover things that happened throughout the movie, because it you know, from the moment they start talking about Warner Brothers, like you said earlier, Tommy, it's a massive advert for HBO Max, basically.
Yeah.
Right. But is it available in the UK, by the way?
No,
Really? No?
not yet.
No, but you can
yeah,
still you can still watch the movie in other platforms. Paid platforms.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Paid platforms.
Like
Paid.
Sky and Disney Plus.
Sky,
and
yes.
Yeah.
now TV.
So I absolutely loved the Game of Thrones world, the Matrix world, Harry Potter world, Casablanca world. When they're recruiting the players, and they see Superman, you know, and Flash, and then when Lola Bunny is you know, tested like in her final test to become an Amazon. I freaking loved that. I was actually pausing the movie and going back and watching those bits individually because I just thought that was freaking amazing. I think they did a really good job. But the thing is, though, I think that's appealing to an older crowd, right? Because us 30-year-olds plus,
30,
we are
30.
so nostalgic from the 90s and early 2000s that we will watch anything that reminds us of that time.
Yeah,
right. A simpler time. So so by watching that, I was like, okay, this is amazing. Okay, love it. So I think, and all over, right? Because later during the movie, like you see on the stands, King Kong, you know, you see Iron Giants,
you see Batman, you see Robin,
you see Batman, you see the Joker,
see the clown from It,
Pennywise.
a lot.
I freaking love that.
Oh, Penguin.
Now, if you look really close though, you see that they're just extras and they're not actual. I mean, which is fair, but I think that they could have done a slightly better job in actually making them look like the actual character. But overall, I think that was, if not my favorite, one of my favorite things of the movie, how they interact with the whole Warner Brothers cinema universe.
The Warnerverse.
Yeah, there you go.
The Broverse.
I love that. And the fact that they go all the way back to Casablanca, right? Like that's what, 100 years old, right? Like that's amazing, you know. And I didn't know what it was. I had to look it up, to be honest. I thought it was Gone with the Wind for a minute. I was like, Casablanca, yeah. But no, really, really good. I love it.
I think funny enough is the same things I've liked. I enjoyed this, like the first part of the movie. I think when they introduced everyone, I was like, this is dragging on. But then when they actually go and recruit, like from the moment they go back into the Warner Brothers catalog, this is when I was like, whoa, now it's fun. And this is why I ended the movie on a high, right? And I was like, oh my god, this is actually quite funny. There's a lot of jokes that there's actually legit. I was surprised by the amount of jokes in there that actually genuinely made me laugh out loud.
Yes, I agree.
Those films, I'm like, oh, okay, but like this time I was like, when there's a joke when LeBron is on the court with his kids, like fairly early in the movie, and it's like, oh, the other kid does something behind his back. He's like, I've got eyes, like I've got eyes behind my back. You know, that's why I've got cold vision or something. He says something, and I went, that's actually funny. Like, but the way he delivers it was really good as well. And it's funny because so in terms of jokes, it worked well, but then in terms of being an advert for Warner Bros, that was one of the things that everybody was pointing at as a bad thing. Like, so it was the main critic was like, oh well, it's not that it's a bad film though, or it's, you know, horrible acting or, you know, anything like that. It's just like it's a massive advert. And I was like, oh god, no. And I was like, actually that's one of the strengths to me, was the strength of the film. It's like,
absolutely,
how they recruit those guys, how they go back in between those movies and all their properties they have. It's like, wow, I didn't realize that, or I forgot that Superman was in there and all that stuff. So
and if you think about it, there's no other movie that can do that, right? There's no other franchise. Matrix couldn't do that. Harry Potter couldn't. Game of Thrones couldn't do that. Obviously Casablanca, but like DC might have done it because they had some comics where they crossed over with like Ninja Turtles, for example, right? But no other. This couldn't have been done in any other way, you know. So it was perfect. I freaking loved it. And Disney hasn't done it yet. Disney could do it massively because they own everything. On Disney to everything else, right? The only thing they don't own is Warner Brothers, right? Yeah. So they could do a crossover of anything they want. But this is so good. I freaking loved it. Yeah, and I agree with you. Like, it's just so good. What if it's an advert, right? Like, just flex it. Why not?
It's flexing, but I think sometimes the thing is, I didn't find it to be out of place. Do you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't a flex that was like, oh, well, why is this there? It's like, oh, it's sort of because they explain why they all went separate ways, and like, but yeah, you know, seeing them doing something else completely different with other characters from Warner Bros. I thought it was pretty funny to see them outside of there.
And that's part of why they call it a serververse, right? Because you're literally inside the Warner Brothers server. All of their data, all of the things that they have are stored there. That's why you're going there. Yeah. And that's why I didn't mind it so much. Like, I hate product placement when it's like someone takes a drink of a Coke can and puts it in front of the camera, and you're just like, come on, man, we're not doing this.
Have you ever watched what was that series that was on Netflix with the guy from 24, Kiefer
Sutherland?
There's a series that came out. It's probably now like 3 or 4 years old. I found the name, but basically there's product placement all throughout, and including one from, I believe, either Ford or Audi, like one of the car. I think it was Ford because it's like it was all made in the US. And there's that scene right in the middle of nowhere. So somebody escapes. They have to, like, the police has to chase somebody, and they get to this farm in the middle of nowhere, and there's this barn. The police officer, she comes out of the car, you know, goes and chases the guy, and then they arrest him, blah, blah. You go back into the car, and then there's this weird cut, which like she opens the car with a phone, like, so she's like, swipe, the car opens the door, and then she goes in there. It's like this weird thing where, say, you see, you know, like in an advert, like you see like a slow motion of the steering wheel with the logo in the middle, everything is shiny and everything. I was like, wait, what? And then there's no sound. It's just like literally like little background music.
That's crazy.
And then it goes back to her like starting the car with a thumb. Ew. And then she drives off, and I'm like, and that goes on for 45 seconds to a minute. Then you're like,
that's too much.
So that's horrible. Like, that's product placement that is badly made. But again, like you said, it's product placement, but it's their own IP, it's their own thing. They do what they want with it, and it integrates to the story, so it's fine. It's seamless.
100%. I also, I'm sorry to add to the likeness, but
add.
I freaking loved Speedy Gonzalez, man. He didn't have many lines in the first movie, maybe not at all. I felt represented as a Latino person, man. Honestly, it was like ay, and oh, abuelita, stuff like that. You know, I was like, fuck yes. Sorry, F yeah,
that's fine.
Speedy Gonzalez, yeah.
He was my favorite cartoon from the Looney Toons growing up.
And they wanted to cancel him.
Yeah.
Nah.
What? Right. Leave him there, man. We want a Looney Tune. We're okay with that. Don't cancel him because of us. We're good.
Yeah, I think that's why he stayed in, because a lot of people said that actually they were proud to see
100%.
Yeah.
Latinx culture represented on such a big platform.
Absolutely. Freaking love Speedy Gonzalez, man.
And then they put him in the Matrix bit. He's like jumping over bullets and stuff. I was
So
like,
good.
that's
good.
baller. Anything else from the plus, the heart section?
I did actually like parts of the game as well. Like I liked the fact that they used the makeup of the game for strategy's sake, right? Like it wasn't like, I don't know, it would have been easy to just do what they did in the first film to a great extent, which is just play the game with cartoons in there and do funny cartoon stuff. But then to actually, it's almost like they had implemented the cartoons, they had implemented the goons, you had LeBron, who's LeBron, and then you also had the game involved, almost like it was another entity. So they had like the little power-ups and stuff like that they used to their advantage or disadvantage or whatever. And there was some cool graphics, some cool moments, like when Chronos does his thing. They give him that platform to go and flex his time skills.
How do you feel about them being 3D compared to them being cartoons?
Well, that's funny because that's exactly what I was going to go with. It's like I actually did enjoy going 3D because it made sense in terms of like, because they're like in the video game. So that's how I understood it. That's how I read it.
It's a modernization, and also if you look at a lot of the old cartoons that we used to watch, they've been modernized. Like Transformers looks like that now as well. A lot of them have been the ones that have been redone. They all look 3D like that now. So I think that was something that they did to bridge the gap for the new generation of kids.
I think, to be honest, I think they look great, but when you see the Looney Tunes in 3D, they just lose something.
It is weird.
They lose something, it just, I think that I would have enjoyed it more, but that's old 30-year-old Jose, right? 32, sorry. Enjoying the cartoons more, right? But I see why, I totally see the point that, and I think that they did the right thing in making them 3D, but I enjoyed it more when it was 2D. Just cartoons, like 2D, I think you can. No, I was gonna say you can't go crazy with whatever they can do. They can do whatever they want anyway, with the graphs and special effects and whatever. But I really would have enjoyed it a little bit more if they were still tunes, like cartoons.
2D.
Well, that's fair enough. I think it's more personal taste on that one.
100%.
That brings me to something I did want to raise, which is I watched this with my nephew, who is 5. Wait, what year are we in? I don't know. He's an age. He's 5 or 6. He's 6, I think. And he, outside of not wanting to watch it when we started, and then getting really into it once they started playing basketball, he's at an age where I don't know if he really knows the Looney Tunes.
Wow. They're not as big as they used to be, you're right.
Like not even close. No. So I was curious as to, like, I know the original Space Jam had obviously the Looney Tunes, but part of me after watching the film and even in the build up to the film was a bit like, could they have like come up with a different cartoon to use? Could they come up with a different stable, or did they have to carry on with the Looney Tunes? Because do kids today, because I mean, this is the question that you would ask, right? From a monetary standpoint, assuming the kids know who LeBron James is, do they know the Looney Tunes?
So you just mentioned something. You said monetary point of view, right? So from money, right? So this movie would make money regardless. I think maybe not if you compare it if you talk equivalence, it's like an inflation, how much money it made compared to the first one. We will have to see. I don't really know those stats, but they got you watching it. You got your nephew watching it. Now your nephew knows who the Looney Tunes are.
Exactly.
So now Warner has a whole new generation that just rediscovered or discovered for the first time the Looney Tunes.
Right.
So that's a good strategy regardless.
Children,
right?
Children bring in parents bring in the children.
Yeah. So remember my words. Next year there's a Looney Tunes series on Netflix. That is only available in the kids user section, whatever, and the kids are gonna watch it.
That's it, because you're talking about money. According to Wikipedia, the budget of the film is $150 million, and they brought in 144. So it's not even broke even just yet.
But part of that is the climate that came out.
Yeah, it's
also
a pandemic,
because
right?
cinemas are closed, and then people will watch at home from legit sources, of course.
Yeah.
What would they do it on the other way?
But as a parent, what did you think about that angle?
I watched it with the kids. So the thing is, my son watches anything and everything. So he doesn't I don't think he knew who the Looney Tunes were, but I had to show him no, that's Bugs Bunny, that's Taz, that's whatever.
Donald Duck.
Donald Duck. Yes, exactly.
And Donald Duck was the coach. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
He was a coach. He didn't play.
I know. I don't know why he didn't play. Maybe knee injury. It happens.
DMV coach.
But so he would watch anything that has a character. Like pretty much, I put a movie on without telling him, and then he walked past and he went and he sat down and watched the entire thing with me.
What kids do, right?
Yeah. But and again, my daughter knows because she's about to be 12, and she's seen Looney Tunes because of the time we were living in France, and Looney Tunes it's pretty much everywhere on TV in France, like for all the kids shows. In the UK, it's not so much, if at all. So she knew obviously who they were, but obviously the young ones, I just watched the pretty colors and people jumping around and smashing their heads on the floor. But like you say, I think it's funny because it does make sense when you maybe pitch the movie and you're like, oh, we're gonna go with LeBron James, big star, and then we'll get into play with the Looney Tunes. But it's like, if you're an exec, you're gonna go, can we put somebody can we just put Batman with him? Or you know what? Put the DC teams with him, like LeBron James with Batman and Superman and Robin and Wonder Woman on the court, right? They're more relevant these days than Looney Tunes. But again, if you're clever, you can also look at it the other way and you go, oh, Looney Tunes then probably not as relevant as they were now. Oh, how about we introduce the kids who likes LeBron James to the Looney Tunes, and then bang.
There you go. I just had a really sick idea though.
Remember you said that?
Now that LeBron is part of the Warnerverse, could he be a character in the Injustice games?
Yes.
Oh, scoop. You heard it first.
Unlockable.
Yeah.
All right.
Unblockable.
Oh.
Yeah. I was going to say
he has been blocked by Jared Allen, for example. But anyway.
Andrew Wiggins.
Andrew Wiggins.
Right. Nothing. Let's go into the section, the denied, the blocked section of the movie review. What was it that made you go? Wait, hang on. When did you go? I'm gonna bench this film.
For me, I just think it was too long.
Yes.
I don't know where I would cut bits out, but it was a very long film for a kid's film.
2 hours.
I don't know if they took too long to get into the game. I don't know if they spent too long recruiting. I don't know if they spent too long on the game itself, but it was almost like two different movies.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Two different kids movies with two different movies. And I would have liked for them to be able to trim it down by 15 or 20 minutes here or there.
I don't think there was bits that you would say, oh, I would cut out the entirety of those two scenes together. I think it's like they could have make it snappier. I think, and it's like you say, it's a movie of two halves almost. It's like up until the moment where they almost when they get into the recruitment phase, when they go into the Warner Brothers catalog. I think this is when to me, it was like there's everything before that, and then there's that moment when they go into, Superman's world, Batman's world, Wonder Woman's world, and then they recruit everyone. I think it's just a matter of like cutting those scenes shorter. They would have saved, like say 15 minutes. Now in 45 would have been okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that might be directly related to what we were just talking about, that the fact that they are aiming to please an older crowd so they can attract a younger crowd with them.
Sure.
So if it's a kids movie, you can just literally do, whatever for 30 minutes and it's a great movie, right?
Yeah.
Have any character, boom, that's it, basketball game. When you're appealing to an older crowd, you kind of like need to reach out in every single direction and kind of like get everything together as much as you can, I guess. So I guess they might have overdone it. I actually agree. I think it's quite long, especially in my opinion, is the beginning. Like you don't need that much of an intro. The intro's too long. LeBron's acting is terrible at the beginning.
Yes.
Like just we don't need that. I think I'm gonna go. We're gonna talk about it later. MJ acted better than LeBron did, but it's just too long. Also, they call him King James all the time. Why don't you call him LeBron? Is this a trademark thing? Have you noticed?
Did they have to put in that? Yeah, they put in King James.
King James.
I can't remember how they call Michael like MJ in the first one.
They never called. No, they never did. They just called him the GOAT. They just always referred to him as the GOAT.
They didn't say GOAT.
Yep. They said billionaire Bobby.
Okay. No. What was it though? They called him
you're
MJ.
Right. Yeah, I think the Toons definitely called him MJ. I think
MJ.
Yeah, and then I think
and then
I
they
think the
bring in
regular
Michael B.
people called him
Jordan.
Mike.
I think that was brilliant. When they
yes,
Michael B. Jordan. If one of my favorite parts of the movie too, like Michael B. Jordan, like that was fantastic.
Actually, that was part of the scenes that I said I actually laughed out loud. So I can hear his shoes. I was like, oh god, no. And then they did the Bulls intro with the voice like, and now.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's sick.
But you see, when they did the intro, I was hoping that it was going to be the little mouse again.
Again
from Space Jam 1. That would have made my day, but yeah, they didn't do it. So I don't like that.
Michael B. LeBron called in his friend instead, which is funny because like I almost don't think that they have the same name just because it's Michael B. Jordan. I never think of him as Michael Jordan, but like growing up, he said it was the biggest weight around his shoulders because
can you imagine
if he ever stepped on a basketball court, it was just slander if he wasn't amazing. And he wasn't amazing. So
he's a good boxer though.
It's good boxer, yeah.
That's what the B's for.
Adonis.
What's Michael Jordan's? It's Jeffries, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jeffrey Jordan. And he has two sons.
Yeah, one is Jeffries.
Yeah, I know Jeffrey, but the other one, I don't know.
Yeah, and actually, I did also laugh at that joke when you go, no, this is Michael B. Jordan. We're looking for Michael A. Jordan.
If you dissect that scene, though, you look at LeBron, and he's actually excited to see Michael Jordan. Yeah. I like that. I was like, oh, hey, that's nice. That's good.
See?
No beef. There's no beef.
He was acting his butt off.
It's his idol. Like,
this is what
obviously, his acting is terrible. He's like... right, like, but I like that. I like that they made him excited. Like, end the beef, man. Like, don't create the beef. Like, it's fine.
There's none.
Yeah.
Anything else you disliked? I think apart from, but one thing I disliked, which was weird because you're talking about LeBron's acting. It wasn't his acting I disliked because I was expecting that acting from him because he's a basketball player. Like, I'm not expecting anything
/ actor.
Amazing. / actor when he's, Anyway, and the one thing that again annoyed me a little bit was his voice acting. Actually, when he transforms into a cartoon, when he gets to his voice acting during that bit when he's a cartoon, I was like, it was trash. It sounded weird. I was like, what's he doing? Like, because you can tell he's reading from either the screen where the
script,
where the script
teleprompter,
straight from the paper or straight from the prompter. Exactly. I was like, it was emotionless, man. It was like his last playoff run. It's a bit
boom.
Yeah, boom. I don't know. So that was a small one, but again, that was like, I can't remember MJ's performance when did he get changed into a cartoon?
No, he
MJ?
didn't.
I don't think he
didn't. He doesn't have that kind of range.
That kind of range. Yeah,
we didn't have the technology yet.
Sure. Basically, you see, that's the thing though. It's funny because I can't find, because it's a kids movie, I can't find much wrong with it. And the one thing that was pointed out to be the biggest wrong with it, which is it's a giant advert. To me, I thought that was a strength. So I don't have much else in terms of bad thing to say about the film.
Yeah, I generally enjoyed it. I think my family enjoyed it too. I think everyone left pretty happy with it.
Yeah. Like thumbs up. Like I'll watch it again. Like yeah, absolutely.
So it's
don't bring that Marvel stuff here.
Why can't you give the thumbs up? What's up with the thumb?
I can't. It doesn't allow me to. It's just
you don't have that gem yet.
It's just there just now.
You don't have that gem.
Stand up. Oh, that's there. Anyway, so what we say, what we can, I say it's a good kids film. It's a good
thumb and a half.
Not two. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie. It is what it is. It's made for kids. It's funny.
Made by kids.
Good basketball scenes. Yeah, by kids for kids. It's not. It deserves. I think it deserves better reviews online.
And finally, parent advice number 5.
Go on, finish it off.
Force your kids to make movies and games and everything that's going to make the family money.
Exactly. Yeah. We want those Rolex. Because it's not about personal achievement and happiness. It's all about that big mansion. That's it. Right. Let's switch it up to basketball.
Yeah.
Let's get into the grit and grind portion of the podcast.
Let's
talk about the game recap.
Back to the game.
Do you remember? Let's go with the final score, because we did say that obviously LeBron's team won it. Final score, very much NBA related, 1,042 to 1,041. Unfortunately, I did look for the stats. Can't find them.
I have the stats. I have the
You got the stats?
You got the box score.
Yeah,
box score and everything. Go for it.
Yeah. So Dominic James, you know how many points he scored? 672.
Oof.
2 field goals attempted, 2 made.
Oh wow.
100% from the field.
100% from
Rudy Gobert out there.
Yeah. Right.
And then the second highest scorer in the Goon squad was Chronos with 287 points.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then LeBron actually only scored 49 points.
Yeah,
he didn't contribute as much as you think.
No,
like that's
and
a
he
playoff
missed
high
2
though.
as well. You know, he missed 2 shots, which is disappointing.
He got posterized as well.
He did indeed. You know who's the highest scorer on the Toon squad? It's the Roadrunner.
Makes
with
sense.
Yeah, of course.
524 points because he scored all those.
When he caught fire in the third.
Yeah, 175 from 175, so 100%.
Wet Fire thought he was looking in the mirror.
And then my favorite, Bucks scored 225. Lola Bonnie, a disappointment actually. I thought she was going to score more. She only scored 2 points.
Really? Oh, that's enough game. She was balling in the first one, the first Space Jam.
Yeah. She was, in my opinion, the second best player in that team. And then, but hey, MIP Porky Pig.
Oh my
153
God.
points.
Wow.
He
a long way.
roasted everyone.
no field goals attempted, but he won the rap battle.
There you go.
Crushed it, halftime, destroyed. It went 8-9.
That's so good. So the Toon Squad scored 37 points in the first half. And
so the score at the half was 1,039 to 37.
Yeah, and they scored 1,005 points in the second half. So, I mean, the second half was obviously, they wanted a streak and they won. Yeah.
Let's go back. Let's go back to the first half. Like literally was crushed by the Goon Squad, who was
as you would expect it, right? Like that's what you would expect from it.
I mean, when you're up by 1,002 points at the half, usually it's a clear message there. You go back into the locker room and you gotta have that talk, which they do. They go back into the locker room and
it was a lot of home cooking, right? Like they were the home team. They were comfortable where they were on their home floor, so they came out hot initially, and then they stagnated in the second half. I don't know.
They didn't score.
If you guys have played in games like that where you almost get too hot, you play too well in the first half, you go up too big, and then all of a sudden you don't know what to do. You start time wasting, you start passing up shots, or everyone starts trying to take shots and run it up and do their own thing, and you totally get away from your game plan.
Forget to move the ball. You don't move the ball as much. That's what they were saying in the first half. They moved the ball perfectly. Nice ball movement there on offense.
They moved the power ups.
Everybody sort of thing, and it's like boom, boom, boom. And then they came out in the third completely cold. They got outscored 1,003 to nothing. Yeah, they choked. 0 points in the third.
1,005 to 2 actually, because Algie Rhythm scored 2 points.
At the half, it was
37.
So at the end of the third, it was 1,040 to 1,039, which is the same. So in the second half, the Goon Squad only scored 2.
By Algie Rhythm.
Man. Yeah, Algie Rhythm that came out and looked like a LeBron.
And that's where if you analyze it from the basketball point of view, you should have never benched Chronos, because Chronos is your highest scorer, right? Mm-hmm. Second highest scorer behind Dom. So,
well, it's funny you mentioned that, because one of my notes was Chronos or Dame Lillard, absolutely the best player on their team, basically no playing time. So that's bad coaching.
And the Brow did not score.
Which is my other note, non-factor, absolutely nothing. He did nothing. He got destroyed. Like he was about to dunk it, and then he got blocked, or he got actually killed. I don't remember. Mm-hmm. It's just like non-factor is like, it's like, well, pretty much like in the last year's playoff for the Lakers. But it's like, why do you have him on there? Just bring in somebody else. Like, get Porzingis. He'll have more points.
Disney is a Disney property, and he was not going to showcase his greatness for Warner Brothers.
Sure.
Right.
Put him back in the bubble. We all know what's going to happen.
Oh, we'll create a bubble just for him. Make sure his game is good. And then my other notes was like, LeBron travels a lot. But, what else is new? So final score 142-141. Obviously, a very disturbing turn of event at the end when LeBron actually makes a basket. There's a switch, actually. His son goes from one team to another in the fourth. Again, very, very weird rules. I mean, I'm sure we could have had
that happens, man. I've seen it on movies like semi-pro.
Semi-pro to do that.
Hey, black coffee. He goes from the Spurs to the tropics.
To the tropics.
Back to the tropics. We should watch that movie. And
that movie is just one of my favorite movies of all time. He's got traded back for a washing machine and
gotta be done.
We'll do that. That's the promise.
And the invasion of the alley hoop.
Yeah, the alley hoop. Huh?
So hey, if Black Coffee did it, why can't Dom do it?
It's allowed.
There you go.
It's allowed. It's the new rules.
Absolutely.
Follow the blueprint.
Exactly. And then so they actually score 2 to take them 2 or 3 points clear, and then the refs / LG goes, nah, new rules. That was a 2, that was a 1 or whatever. So you're still down, or you're still only up by 1 or something like that. And then the only basket made by the Goon Squad in the second half was a dunk or something or whatever it was with 10 seconds to go, and then they gave it to the last play when they realized, which is what we said earlier on, the last play they're gonna do the glitch. Somebody's gonna shoot that. LeBron was thinking it was gonna be him, but then Bugs Bunny took one for the team. Sacrifice, literally the sacrifice play.
Sad moments, man. I did
sad
feel
moment.
sad.
Yeah, I was like, my God, they're gonna kill Bugs Bunny.
I was
and
like,
they did.
What are they canceling Bugs? Like I was like, canceling culture has gotten to the most unoffensive character ever.
I know.
It's literally a bunny that eats carrots.
Well, he's vegan, and it's their time.
Exactly, cancelled. And the way he's eating those carrots as well could be such interpreted the wrong way. So Bugs misses. No, it doesn't miss it. Actually, he misses the shot, but it looks like a pass. And then LeBron goes for the dunk, put back dunk, but then posterizes LG, literally posterizing him. Bang. It's not even a buzzer beater because it's like 2 seconds to go, but the clock keeps running down, just because we don't want to give the other guys the last shot because it would have been game time, Dame time.
Running clock, man. Running clock.
It's true, it's running clock actually. That's it. Big W for LeBron.
For the king.
No trophy though. They get kicked out, they get raptured, as I said, back into the real world. So what are you gonna do? You win, you play for those trophies. I think they got robbed, if you ask me. That was the game. That was the basketball portion of the podcast. You're absolutely welcome, guys.
I actually have stats from the first Space Jam if you want.
You do?
Want them. Yeah.
Hit me real quick. MJ, what do you get?
Michael, 22 of 22. They missed. So 44 points. There was no 3-pointers back then, apparently.
Of course. It's a real man game before. It's a real game.
Bucks. So this is actually a kind of like realistic score. Bucks scored 10. Lola scored 8. Duffy and the Tasmanian Devil 4 points each. Nobody missed shots, by the way. Nobody missed shots. Besides, he didn't take a shot. Nobody besides Patrick Ewing. Actually,
oh come on! Of course,
he missed the only shot that could have won them the championship. So actually, the highest scorer was Barkley with 37, and Patrick Ewing scored 34, and then Johnson scored 6, and that's it. It's 78-77.
Yes, that's awesome. I think that's much more enjoyable. I can actually
relate
relate
realistic
to what
score.
See? This is what Tom wants.
This is what I want. This is entertainment for me.
Yeah.
Low scoring affair.
Yeah, there you go.
He wants characters and low scoring games.
Defense. I want defense. I want barbed wires. All right, let's move on to the next one, which is something that many people have argued about. Monstars versus Goon Squad.
Well, we've just seen right there.
Let's go through the roster on the Monstars just for people who don't know. I'm not going to go.
You're going to talk about the actual NBA players that inspired them. Yeah. Okay.
Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, Larry Johnson, Maxi Bogues, and Sean Bradley. So
they have a weak link, obviously.
Sean Bradley.
One.
Yeah.
Do you not remember Larry Johnson?
Larry Johnson
I wasn't talking about Larry Johnson.
Is like Charles Barkley. I think that they're the same person.
Are you talking Patrick Ewing?
No.
Charles Barkley.
Sean Bradley.
Sean Bradley was he was the.
Come on. He was an amazing player, but he's the worst player in that team.
It was the White Tower. It's just the greatest.
It's a hell of a nickname. Listen, everyone who plays on the Goon Squad is an all-star or better. Muggsy Bogues wasn't that caliber. Sean Bradley wasn't that caliber, and I'm sure Larry Johnson got voted to a couple. But we're talking about some of the GOATs.
Okay.
But
Fair
then
enough.
you put it, like they would have put the ball inside to feed Barkley and Ewing. Like you got nobody to stop that. Anthony Davis was a non-factor. He couldn't even handle fucking Bugs Bunny.
So,
Bugs Bunny.
hey, my
Are we? Sorry, hold on. Are we doing the cartoon versions or the real life versions?
Okay.
and that's where I'm going, because depend, like, where are we playing? Which corner are we playing?
Okay,
at?
let's
Are we
the
playing at
rules
the video game, or are we playing at Toonland? Right? Because at Toonland, the Toons can
Exactly.
do whatever they want.
because there's different
But the
rules
thing is,
also in
anybody
Space Jam
can
1
do-
and 2.
Exactly.
Right.
Anybody can do whatever they want in Toonland, right? So
Okay, let's do this.
even the Goon Squad could do whatever they wanted to.
Let's do real life 5-on-5. They meet on a playground. They play
We're talking
basketball rules,
the
right?
actual basketball players.
Basketball game.
In
Okay.
2021.
In
Yeah,
let's
but they're
put
not 60. But in their
Let's-
prime. In their
in
prime.
their prime, and then we'll move on to then the cartoon or the movie counterparts. Just in a Looney game.
So, okay.
Twos and threes.
2s and 3s, yes.
It's a
I
wrap.
think
It's a wrap. It's
Yeah,
a
'cause-
burrito.
because every single one, maybe AD won't shoot as many threes, but the other four,
But he'll
Also
stand
could.
out there and pull Sean Bradley away from the
Yeah.
rim.
yeah. So I think if you talk player quality, the Goon Squad wins it. But I don't want that to happen, so I'm gonna go with the Toon Squad. Sorry, with the
That's
monsters.
The Moonstar.
You go with the Monstars and I'll take your money.
Also, hang on. The Monsters had a really, really cool anthem.
Yes.
You remember that song?
Yes.
Be Real, Coolio.
I know all the words.
Oh, man, me too.
Coolio, Busta
Coolio,
Rhymes, LL
Busta
Cool J.
Rhymes, and Method Man.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a lineup. I think they win. They win.
Okay.
Just for that reason. It's
Okay.
done.
And they have very
It's
low
your burrito.
rims in the video, remember?
Yeah.
Everybody was dunking.
7-foot rims.
I'm going with Monstars.
Oh, okay. Why?
Just because they're better. Like just Charles Barkley and Ewing on there with a bit of Larry J.
Do you think
I think they'll be
Barkley
they'll
and
be a good
Ewing
squad.
outweigh the other five?
There's no way they can hold on like with that firepower inside. Like they're just gonna feed like Bugs is just gonna feed the ball to those two guys inside. But then Anthony Davis can't shoot anymore. And then Lillard got actually if we change the rules to
Davis wants to murder
FIBA rules. Then definitely Monstars.
He'll treat them like he did Iran.
Oh, bombing. Okay. All right. So now we're moving on to Goon Squad Monsters, but as cartoons.
The Goon Squad wins.
It's gotta be, man. The modern technology is a bit too much for the
Yeah.
hand-drawn cartoons, you know.
Yeah.
But as long as they play Chronos, they have to give more.
Oh yeah.
minutes.
Well,
Chronos,
Dom
'cause
wouldn't
it's-
play. If Dom is out, Chronos is in automatically, right? Dom was the fifth player. That's why Chronos
Sure.
was on the bench. So if we're talking squad versus squad, yeah, the Goon Squad takes it 100%.
And Whitefire's gonna have a better game than what he did. I
Yes.
think he's got so much potential.
Yeah.
He's gonna have. He's
Yeah.
got a good potential there.
And there, also remember, there's not gonna be a rap battle probably.
Hopefully
So you have 153 points from Porky Pig that you're just not gonna win.
Yeah.
So
And
there you go.
defensively they just too much for them.
So then you could argue which era dances better rap, the 90s or the 2020s? Which
I
era
think
has
that-
better breakdancers?
Oh.
Well, we're about to see in the Olympics, guys.
Yeah, we'll see that in 2024.
Do you think the same way that we had like 13-year-olds in the skateboarding, do you think we're gonna have like 50-year-olds in the breakdancing?
I need
You're gonna
to
have
do
Curtis
that.
Blow there.
Hopefully.
Spinning on his back,
Yeah.
doing windmills.
To be fair, I actually do need to see the rules of like how it's gonna be. Like, I
Yeah,
need
what's the
to
judging?
know
Yeah.
who's judging? What's the point system like? What are the
Curtis
criteria to
Blow,
qualify?
Curtis Blow, MC Hammer, the Gangnam Style dude.
MC Hammer.
They're gonna be judging. Psy, you know.
And Dwayne Wade.
and Dwayne Wade. Oh my God.
So he can give Aaron Gordon a 9.
That's a 9.
He's the Russian judge.
He's the undercover Russian
funny.
judge. All right, let's wrap this up with the last bit. We'll talk acting now. MJ or LeBron. Who was the least worst of the two? Again, my expectations are super low because they're not actors, so I don't expect them to be great actors or, conveying emotions as you would expect from professional actors, right? But there's also a threshold of crap.
I think I can't see anything that Michael Jordan does with my unbiased eyes, right?
Baseball?
No. I see Michael Jordan, and even playing baseball, he looks good. He might be awful.
He had style, yeah.
But he had style. As his teammates tell him in the movie, like, don't worry, Mike, you're okay. You're looking good there. Yeah? I think that MJ. So I can't see bad acting there because I'm not seeing acting. I'm just seeing Michael Jordan in the movie. When the first time I saw it, I was like, oh my God, it's Michael Jordan. And then when they finish the game and they come back in the spaceship in that Barons game, and Wayne Knight comes out and he introduces him, ladies and gentlemen, Michael Jordan. I was like bawling, man, because I believe I can fly the song by that stupid person that wrote that song. I don't even want to mention him, but the song is actually a nice song. I bawl every time I watch it, So I think LeBron's is just too over the top. And I hate that they call him King James all the time.
That's right.
So Michael takes it 100%.
See, for me, that's exactly like what you said about Michael Jordan is exactly why my vote would go the other way, because I don't feel like, and that's not to say that LeBron is actually a better actor, but I don't feel like MJ was acting. He's just MJ.
Right.
He's just him. He's not asked to do anything out of the ordinary.
Yeah, I guess he was living his normal life, playing golf, playing baseball, being with his family, right?
Playing basketball, and then he goes back to it.
Yeah,
right?
LeBron has to go to this pitch at Warner Brothers.
Yeah, and he has to act like a bad parent and force his stuff on his son. He actually had to do things with his acting. He had to do some voice acting as well.
Yeah.
His performance had a challenge rating, a greater difficulty rating. I don't know if you remember the diving and things like that.
Yeah, fair.
Whatever you're attempting has a difficulty rating, and then there's your execution. The execution was bad, but the task was greater.
Fair enough.
I agree with that. I think and I'm going with LeBron on this one, and I thought I was going to say MJ because of the same reason. Like literally, I've got the same reasons of picking one. Like the things you've said both is what I think also. And I was like, before I watched the movie, I was like, oh, it's MJ. But then as I watched his, and here's why I'm picking LeBron, is because LeBron actually made me laugh on a couple occasions. And the hardest part of acting is comedy, because it depends not only on the script, but on the delivery. And the way he delivered is a couple of jokes that he's got in there. The only one bit of when I actually I went, oh God, no, please don't, was when he came back from the locker room, like like when they come out and they're like, yeah, well, let's turn this around, let's win this, and then he goes and pull this weird face, like, oh, look at me, I'm silly. I don't know if you remember that, like they all start putting that face, and I went, oh no. I mean, it's not your fault, it's the directors that left it in there because it's supposed to be funny, showing that he's like, okay, I'm changing my approach to the game, sort of thing. And I was like, okay, fine, but I was
having fun.
It's having fun, but you make me not want to watch this anymore. So I was like, okay, cool, fine, fair enough. But then, yeah, like you said, it's the expectations, I guess, because of the first movie that came out that was like out of nowhere sort of thing. Yeah. This one's like, oh man, it's Space Jam 2, you got to follow up in,
It was always going to be compared to the first one, right?
Well, the only comparison I can give is the storyline is pretty much the same. Like 90% of it, 95% of it is copy and paste, right? They've updated a few things within it, but it's the same things. Like you get abducted, you gotta stay stuck in this world. Right. If you lose, you win the game, you come back home. Done. Yeah. So it's that. But I'm going with LeBron. LeBron wins this round. It's the only time I picked LeBron over MJ for anything.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Was it? Sorry.
That's okay.
All right. Anything else we want to add? Go watch it. Maybe it was fun.
Go watch it. Yeah. Go watch it. Watch it. Yeah, recommend it 100%.
If you like nerdy stuff, you'll be served, because the basketball scene when they actually play the game is packed of like cameos of every single characters you like. The acting is decent. The story is the same that Space Jam 1, so there's no surprise. I think that's it. That's it. That's I'll watch it again, definitely. It's not a bad. It's a good movie, and it's not as bad as people say it is online. So don't listen to them. Listen to us, because we know what we're talking about. We hold the truth, and we speak the truth. We are reliable. And that's why you listen to us on a weekly basis. Dave, you want to do your outro, and I do. Well, whatever it is. Well, we do your outro. That would be the outro of the entire thing. We'll do one.
All right. Nice. I'll integrate you guys as well. So, that has been the Grit and Grime Pod X. Catching up with the nerds, crossover, Space Jam, a new legacy, longest title for a podcast ever.
Yes.
Episode. I've been your host. Oh no, before we do that, you can catch us on social media at Grit and Grime Pod, at Catching Up with the Nerds. I think it's at Catch Up Nerds on Twitter.
It's got different nerds. Just look up Catching Up with the Nerds anywhere.
Easy.
On all platforms. And yeah, interact with us. Catch our other episodes. Tom's been doing interviews over there. We've got some paid content coming out. We just covered the Olympics, and we'll be covering the new season as it approaches. So yeah, go around, make your rounds, interact with us, tell us that you liked the review, didn't like the review, and then listen to our episodes.
Do it, man.
And give us some 5-star reviews. That helps. And comments, and subscribe, and like, and share.
Hit the bell.
And give us some comments, like right below here. Below, we see where Jose is? Like below him.
Below me.
There's a big box.
Even lower.
Even
Hades,
lower than I am.
In Hades with OKC.
There you go. All right. So this was Grit and Grime Pod. I was going to say /X. Catching up with the nerds. Thank you very much for listening. We'll
thank you.
Catch you in the next one.
Bye.